Every traveller dreams of warm welcomes and friendly faces, but that's not always what you get. In some places, the locals might not roll out the red carpet. Whether it's cultural differences, tourist fatigue, or just plain bluntness, some countries have earned a reputation for being a bit rough around the edges. In this video, we're diving into the top 10 countries with the rudest locals. Travel with caution. Let's jump straight to the list, so brace yourself. Oh, no, before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome travel guides, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when we publish a new video. So now, let's cut to that chase. And at 10, South Korea. Polite but passive-aggressive. South Korea is globally admired for its culture, tech innovation, and hospitality. But beneath the polished exterior, many travellers report a cool reception. While respect and etiquette are deeply rooted in Korean society, that same structure can lead to behaviour that feels cold or even exclusionary to outsiders. Locals may avoid speaking English, give subtle stares, or maintain distance in social settings, particularly in smaller towns. Tourists have described being judged based on clothing, tattoos, or even body type. In group-oriented Korean culture, those who don't fit in can be silently ignored. Public relations tend to be passive-aggressive rather than openly confrontational. This cultural reserve is often mistaken for rudeness, especially by Western visitors accustomed to direct friendliness. While not universally hostile, travellers often leave with the impression that friendliness here is, selective, and blending in is key to being treated like a guest rather than an outsider. Next up at 9, India. Warm but overwhelming. India offers a sensory overload, vibrant colours, chaotic streets, and deeply spiritual experiences. But while the culture is known for hospitality, the sheer intensity of interactions can overwhelm visitors. Tourists often encounter persistent touts, unsolicited guides, and aggressive shopkeepers, especially in popular spots like Delhi, Agra, or Jaipur. Personal space is a luxury, and stares, often long and unbroken, are commonplace, especially toward foreigners. While not intended to be threatening, these behaviours can feel invasive. Scams targeting tourists, pushy vendors, and confusing social etiquette may further contribute to the perception of rudeness. On the flip side, many Indians are incredibly warm and generosity runs deep, especially once personal rapport is established. But without cultural context or local guidance, many travellers find their first impressions jarring. In India, rudeness is less about bad intent and more about a different threshold for privacy, patience, and personal boundaries. At 8 next, Italy. Hospitality with a side of heat. Italy is often celebrated for its rich culture, passionate people, and culinary delights. But in high tourism zones, warmth can wear thin. Locals in cities like Rome, Venice, or Florence sometimes appear impatient, curt, or dismissive, especially toward tourists who don't attempt basic Italian phrases. Shopkeepers might ignore customers, waiters may serve you with visible annoyance, and eye rolls are far from rare. This attitude stems partly from tourist fatigue. Millions pour in each year, and locals often feel their cities are being overrun. Additionally, Italian communication style is naturally expressive, fast-paced and blunt, which may come across as aggressive to more reserved cultures. However, once outside tourist traps or when you make an effort to engage respectfully, many Italians open up quickly. It's a country of contrasts, fiery yet friendly. But for the unprepared traveller, the line between passion and rudeness can be hard to distinguish. Next up, at 7, it's Israel, no-nonsense nation. Israelis are famous for being direct, so much so that many first-time visitors find it jarring. The local communication style is fast, opinionated, and unfiltered. Asking a simple question might get you a blunt or even sarcastic response. Don't expect sugarcoating. In Israel, efficiency and honesty take priority over pleasantries. This cultural trait is often perceived as rudeness, especially by travellers from more polite or indirect cultures. In places like Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, you may experience raised voices in everyday conversations, cutting in line, or being rushed at restaurants or stores. However, this behaviour is rarely malicious, it's just the norm. Israelis value realness and see small talk as, well, unnecessary. Interestingly, this same straightforwardness also means locals can be incredibly helpful and fiercely loyal once engaged. It's not about being unfriendly, it's about being unapologetically authentic. But for visitors expecting smiles and softness, it can actually feel like a cultural collision. Next up at 6, United States. Big country, big attitudes. The United States is vast, and so are the personalities you'll meet. While friendliness is a hallmark in many areas, major cities like New York, Los Angeles or Chicago are often seen as having brusque, impatient locals. Tourists in these urban hubs may encounter eye rolls, short tempers, or complete disinterest when asking for help. It's not necessarily hostility, it's often a byproduct of the fast-paced lifestyle. In New York, for example, directness is valued, and people may seem rude simply because they're, well, in a rush. Customer service can be a bit hit or miss, and tipping culture adds another layer of tension if not understood. Regional differences also play a role. Southern hospitality contrasts sharply with northern bluntness. For many, the rudeness is situational, not systemic, but it still shapes the tourist experience. In the US, how you're treated often depends on where you are and how fast you're walking. Alright, at 5, Germany. Direct and unfiltered. Germany is a country known for precision, efficiency and structure, and that extends to how people speak. Germans are famously direct, and for tourists that can come off as cold or even rude. There's no beating around the bush here. Whether you're ordering at a cafe or asking for directions, you might be met with clipped responses and little small talk. It's not personal, it's cultural. Locals value time and straightforwardness, and politeness doesn't always involve a smile. In fact, excessive friendliness can be seen as suspicious. While the service is often fast and reliable, don't expect it to come with charm. For travellers from more emotive cultures, this no-nonsense attitude can feel standoffish. But beneath that tough exterior lies a deeply respectful and rule-abiding society. In Germany, what feels like rudeness is usually just efficiency, without the fluff. Alright, at 4, it's Argentina. Passion meets impatience. Argentina is bold, expressive and full of personality, and so are its people. In Buenos Aires especially, locals are passionate speakers who just don't hold back. Conversations can be loud, animated and fast-paced, which to some travellers can, well, feel aggressive. Personal space is minimal and emotional intensity is the norm. While this creates a vibrant atmosphere, it can also be overwhelming for visitors not used to it. Locals may cut in during conversations or react sharply if they think you're being rude, even unknowingly. There's a cultural pride that runs deep, and any hint of criticism, especially from tourists, can spark defensive responses. However, once you're accepted, Argentine hospitality is generous and heartfelt. The line between passion and pressure is thin here, and for some, that energy can feel more exhausting than exciting. Alright, at 3 now, it's China. Overcrowded chaos and cultural clashes. In many parts of China, especially bustling cities like Beijing, Shanghai or Guangzhou, the daily pace of life is intense. Streets are crowded, queues are optional, and personal space is nearly non-existent. Locals may push past you, speak loudly, or ignore your attempts at conversation entirely. It's not meant to offend, it's just the norm in an overpopulated, fast-moving society. Additionally, cultural misunderstandings are common. Things like not saying please or thank you as often or spitting in public can catch tourists off guard. Many Chinese locals aren't fluent in English and may avoid interactions out of embarrassment, which can be mistaken as indifference or coldness. Tourists often feel a lack of warmth in busy areas, especially if they don't understand the local etiquette. But beyond the crowds, kindness does exist, though it may take a little patience to find. Let's go to 2. It's Russia. Tough faces, tougher attitudes. Russia is not a country where people smile at strangers, and that alone can make it feel unwelcoming to outsiders. In Russian culture, smiling without reason is often seen as insincere, so you won't get many grins on the street. Communication is direct and can sound harsh, even when it's not meant to be. Whether in Moscow's metro or a local cafe, you might be met with blank stares or curt replies. Asking for help may be met with a sigh or a shrug, and customer service often lacks the cheerful tone Westerners expect. But here's the twist. Once you break the ice, so to speak, Russians can be incredibly loyal and generous. It's a society where respect is earned, not automatically given. First impressions may feel cold, but they don't always tell the full story. Still, for the average tourist, the initial atmosphere can feel downright icy. And finally, at number 1, it's France. The fine line between chic and cold. Ah, France, the land of romance, wine, and notoriously curt locals. Paris in particular is infamous for impatient service, eye rolls at tourists, and an unspoken rule that you must attempt French, even if it's just a few words like merci. The French place high value on cultural etiquette and subtlety, so visitors who don't observe those norms may find themselves subtly snubbed. Waiters might take their time, shopkeepers may seem dismissive, and people may appear offended by overly friendly behaviour. Much of this is cultural, not personal. In fact, many Parisians believe tourists are the rude ones for not respecting local customs. Outside the big cities, experiences can be far warmer. But in high traffic areas, especially during peak seasons, locals are often tired of crowds and, well, quick to show it. France isn't unfriendly, it's just not going to coddle you. That wraps up our look at the top 10 countries with the rudest locals. Travel with caution, I would say. Every destination has its quirks, and what feels rude to one traveller might just be a cultural difference to another. Have you visited any of these places? Share your experience in the comments, please. We'd love to hear your side of the story. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon for more eye-opening travel content. Thanks for watching.